Good morning, super readers. I hope that you had a super good first day back at virtual learning. I was so impressed with your work from yesterday. And I just want to say if that's how it's going to be this 9 weeks, if we're going to work that hard, then I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay. So, first of all, Alexander, he used to be rich last Sunday. Um, I asked you to, first of all, before we even started the book, just to look at the book cover and look at the character and tell me what you thought. Two things, okay? So I picked just a few examples from some of your work to put on here. So some of you, one person said, I notice he looks worried, okay? A lot of you put he has the number 1 on his shirt. Maybe he plays a sport. And I thought that was super great way to look at that. He has his pockets pulled out. That's very good too. Good details there. Maybe he had a hole in his pocket. He lost something. That was a good idea. He is sad. He is a boy. He has red hair. He has no money. He is a kid. He is broke. And he looks disappointed. And when one of you said he has red hair, it kind of reminded me of my son. Uh-oh. Look. Alexander kind of looks like my oldest son Gunnar before he had a haircut last week. Anyways, there's that. So don't tell Gunnar that I showed you that picture of him with his long haircut and said he looked like Alexander. He'll get me. However, Gunnar is the exact opposite of Alexander. So, what I mean by that is Gunnar saves his money. He loves to save all of his money. So, great job on noticing those things about the character. What will be interesting to see is now that you've read the book, what are some things that you notice now about the character? And so we may do that later in the week. But anytime we read, super readers, we need to make sure that we are looking at those characters and noticing things about them. Because if we don't, what's the point in even reading? If I didn't notice that Harry Potter was brave and kind of, I don't know, uh I'm trying to think of the word and I can't think of it. He just wasn't afraid of anything and he was just like, okay, I'm here for it. And so he was eager beaver is what I'd like to say. He was very eager. Um Harry Potter would be very boring if he was just simple person and he was scared of everything. So the character in our book and any of the characters, anything about them makes the book more important. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted you to do was watch the Carrot Crazy. Was that not one of the funniest videos you've ever watched? Little sad, I guess, for the bunny, but R.I.P. Bunny. But wow. So learning about lesson. That's kind of what we're doing this week. We're looking for the lesson, the message of the story. So, what is the lesson? What was this trying to teach us? What was Carrot Crazy trying to teach us? And here are some thoughts from you. Fighting doesn't solve problems, be kind. Oh man, I love this one. I was like, yes. If they would have just, I don't know, helped each other out, maybe they would have caught that rabbit. The one with the best things doesn't always mean they will be the one to win. Oh man, that was some deep thought right there. I love it. The lesson is to not fight. Never fight over something. Don't try to outdo each other. The lesson is to use teamwork. Ooh. If you fight, you will lose something. Isn't that the truth? If you fight, then you do lose something. You might lose a friend or you might lose, I don't know. I love that. Work as a team and it will go a lot smoother than you think. I was so impressed with your answers. Fantastic job. So let's look more at that. So, tips for finding the lesson. That's what we're doing today. What is the main character going through? Is there something going on with that character? Maybe he's having a hard time, or maybe he's having the best day ever. But what's going on with them? Are they not getting along with somebody? Because sometimes there's that. There's some tension there. So something's happening and boiling up. Um, are certain words or phrases repeated? I'm pretty sure in our book there were certain words and phrases repeated. What part makes you think? What did you learn from it? So, when we're determining the theme or the message or the lesson from the story, it's something that you can apply to your own life. So, going back to Crazy Carrot, we can apply every single one of those things that you guys wrote. We can apply that to our lives in so many ways, especially right now with our, just this crazy time we're in. Um, it's the lesson or message the author wants you to learn from the story. Now, tidbit of information for you. When we talk about learning a lesson or a message, we're usually doing that in a fiction book. And that is because fiction is not real. They're books that are made up. So your Harry Potter, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, those books, Boxcar Children, all of those books are kind of fiction. They're made up. And so fiction books are teaching us some lesson. Some authors want us to learn a lesson or a message or a story. They're like, just check it out, man. The author won't explicitly state if you often have to, and you often have to infer the theme. Okay, for my second graders, woo, that was some big words. So let me break it down. So the author's not going to say, hey, Carrot Crazy, if you wouldn't fight and you worked as a team, you might have caught that rabbit. No, it's exactly what you did. That video didn't say a word, but you guys figured out exactly what the lesson was from that. Okay. So the author's not going to just come out and say, hello, readers. Thanks for reading my story. No, they're going to do things that make you infer. Infer is making you look for clues about what's going on. There can be more than one theme, more than one lesson, more than one message. And I think you saw that just then because you all had different ideas. It's not specific to the story you're reading. The theme is universal. That means it applies to everyone. And I think if we go back, you can see any of those lessons would apply to anybody. Okay. And I always say hokey pokey. So think about hokey pokey. That's what it's all about. So I always think of when I'm thinking of the lesson or the theme, is that's what it's all about. That's what the author is wanting you to see that the story is all about. So today, you're finding the lesson. You're finding what did Alexander learn exactly? So I can't wait to see your answers for that. Now, real quick, let's look at pronouns. So pronouns are used in place of a noun. So instead of saying, Miss Manda and Miss Arant went to the grocery store, I can replace Miss Manda and Miss Arant with a pronoun. I can say, they went to the grocery store. Or I could say, Miss Arant and I went, instead, I could say, we went to the grocery store. Okay? And if I was talking about the whole second and third grade, I could say, everyone went to the grocery store instead of naming every single one of us because that would take a really long time. Just think about it. So a pronoun is going to replace that noun. So let's look at just an example of one that we did today. Okay. So let's look at this. So this pronoun says they. Check. What about who? What do you think? Who is more of a question versus a pronoun. So we wouldn't be using that one. That one would go in the not pile. What about someone? Yeah, I could say someone. Someone, instead of saying Johnny ran to the mailbox, I could say someone ran to the mailbox. Okay. So we can use that one. Her. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, I can use that. By. No, not so much. Can't really use that one there because it's not replacing a noun about a person. See that? Herself. Ding, 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 ding. What about can? What do you think? Probably not. No, can't really use that. So that's a goes in the not. Fought. What do you think? Yay, no. Yeah, it's a no. Can't really put that in there. Is definitely a not. Definitely not. Us, I think I would move that over to the pronoun section because I could say, um, well, there's a TV show called This Is Us, okay? Instead of saying this is and naming every single character, this is us. So that would be a pronoun. I, definitely a pronoun. Instead of saying Amanda went to the mailbox, I went to the mailbox. So I'm going to replace my name with I. It, pronoun. So, and this is one that gets us all the time. As you get older and you start to write more, you're going to say it. It did this. It was there. It was this. It. And so I always tell my third graders, let's stay away from the word it because sometimes I don't know what it is. Okay. I would rather you use another pronoun besides it, but it is a pronoun. Okay. Two, no, it's kind of a number. It's kind of describing. Am, no, I'd leave it in the not pile. So good job. So, anyways, as you're looking at pronouns, just think about it's replacing a person or persons, okay? People, groups. So it, you, he, she, her, him, something, anything, everything, someone, anyone, anybody. So just kind of remember that and keep that in mind when we're thinking about pronouns. It's kind of hard, but when we start looking at a point of view, you're going to want to know pronouns. So good job, all of my super readers. I'm excited to see your work from our second day, and I can't wait for our meet today so that I get to see you guys on our computer and hear what you've been up to. So, good night or good morning.